all the purchasing department, I think a lot of companies are facing the same issue, but clearly the economical context, we are facing a really strong inflation right now, a lack of raw material that are crucial for our operation. So in some part, for example, all the wood market, we were struggling a lot last year. So the key is like not affecting our operation. So how we manage this to secure our operation, and then all the uncertainties that we have, because we all have our strategy, we all have a plan. We know that we have the inflation, raw material issue, struggling also on the supply chain part. But facing uncertainty, for example, everything related to the war and all the things that each government is putting in place according to the country to face this, it's really hard for us because, as I said, we all have a strategy, but sometimes we have to reorganize everything to adapt to the market and also the business, because I'm working in the indirect purchasing department, and according what happening, the business sometimes changes the strategies too. So maybe some categories that I would not have to deal with now, I will have to put this in my plan to help the company. So it's not only like doing my strategy to get savings, to get more coverage, but also how can I support the business in providing new solution according to their new strategy. I think for me, regarding the strategy, first, the key thing is that you have to be aligned with the business. When I was working in consulting companies, and I met a lot of purchasing director or financial director were struggling, and they didn't know how to reach their internal customer, how to ensure their savings. So the first thing for me is to be aligned with the business and to understand what is the place that the business is giving to purchasing. Because if you don't have a strong sponsoring, and if you are not aligned with your direction, you can do whatever project, the best negotiation ever. But if it's not aligned with the business and you don't have a sponsor, you will not be able to go anywhere. So I think this is the key for the success of the strategy. And then, you have to settle a really good guiding principle. So the organization really knows what is the scope of the purchasing department, how they will work with you, in which case they have to contact you, because in our organization, for example, right now, it's all the operation is totally decentralized. So I have a strategic department. So the key is to have a really good framework and ensure that the people are working in this framework. So this is the first thing. I think it's really key before starting anything. And then according like more the strategical part, for me is to combine three criteria. It's the impact that you can give to the company, especially now that we are facing a lot of price increase, inflation, complication with raw material. So what has the biggest impact for the company? Then deal with all the urgencies that you can face with your business. So sometimes we have to launch negotiations that were not in the plan, but as it's crucial for the company, or we one supplier is leaving or is not compliant with the contract, we have to take action. So it's more urgency, and then all the needs that the business have, because we are in a constant transformation. So we cannot only look at our strategy, our spend map, and what are the categories that will impact our business, because clearly we are all looking about coverage and savings. Mainly these are the main indicators. But we also have to take in consideration the needs of the company for the transformation, because we are not only as I say, a backup department or a support department. I think purchasing unit to change, and I think we can bring much more value than only negotiating contract. So we really can work with our businesses to bring innovation, to have better operational processes, to make the life easier for our operation, to save time, ensure our operation. So we have a lot of things to take into consideration. So I think these are the three critical points when you have to fix your strategy, the strategy for the year. The impact that you can have, the needs of the business, and all the urgency that you will have to deal with and adjust your planning. So for us, the role of the technology is really key for us, because it's not only a way of doing operation or launching tenders. We see it as a really added value for us. So we use it for a sourcing strategy, for operational process, contract management, supplier portfolio. And I think it's key because first, on a compliance point of view, in our case, we use Market Dojo. So we have all the tender that we launch are in our tool. So everybody from the team and other companies that are working together, because we try to look for synergy together. So we are able to do a project for Portugal, for example, or for another company of the group, and everybody can see the status of the project, the offer of the supplier, and we have automatic benchmark. And we also assure the compliance and transparency, because we know when it was launched, what kind of documentation was launched, the acceptance of all the documentation in order to get time at the moment of closing the contract. And we can see that everybody answered at the same day, and no offer was open before we add everything. So on a compliance point of view, we use it a lot with our compliance department to review our processes. Then regarding the performance and productivity, some processes that were really standard and managed by mail or by call, now everything is automatized regarding the offers that we receive. We can do all the ranking of our supplier regarding economical aspect, qualitative aspect. So we have automatic tables that we can have. So it make our analysis much quicker, and it permits us to gain time for the negotiation, especially when we are launching e-auction that we start using like some months ago. I use a lot of e-auction, and I really think that it's a really powerful tool if it's well used, and we have a good support, because sometimes the strategy cannot. You have to have it clear regarding the strategy, how you want to land the auction. But for example, processes that we could spend like 1 month in negotiation, in 2 days, we can have the best price of the market with our homologated preferred supplier. So it's a really strong tool, and I think the context of the e-auction makes our supplier much more competitive in their offer, because they really feel the pressure, and you have a really short time. You know that the how do you say, the subjective aspect will not affect, because it's a number. So I really like the auction. We had really good results regarding the e-auctions that we did. So I think it's a really powerful tool in gaining time and having better savings for our project. And then regarding the visibility, when I came into the company, I came in, the whole team was not anymore here in the company, and I really I really had to take, okay, where is all the documentation? What are the last offer? Who participate in the tender? So here, even if I have some change in the team regarding some category manager or manager from other BU that we are working with are leaving the company or going to another function, we have all the documentation here. So it's really helpful for us. If we change the category manager, it will have everything in the tool. So for us, it's really useful. And then speaking about all the technology that we use for our operational process, it gives us a lot of visibility, and it helps us to ensure that the framework is respected, because this is our main tool to ensure that the theoretical savings becomes a reality, because it gives all the data that we need to check that the spend that we have is done with our homologated supplier, to check that the spend is done via our catalogs that we automatize in our tool. So it's really useful. It gives us a lot of visibility. It permits us to ensure that the company is following our guiding principle. We can have some alerts. It can help us with compliance, internal control, audits. So it's really useful. And speaking also about the cost, we know a lot of studying are done from many sectors, but we know that we can save like 40% of operational cost using a tool versus doing like a standard way, like with mails and phones. So I think it's really useful in an economic point of view, qualitative point of view, and I think it's really strong, and it's really helps us to do a better job in our day-to-day. The change management is not an easy work in the purchasing department. I would say that I think that half of my time is dedicated to communication, influencing, and constant change management, especially in an organization where we just create the department. It was like we opened it like 3-4 years ago, because before one director started the department. In the change management, it's key, but it's really key to have a really good sponsoring from your direction. Have a really clear guiding principle. Then you have to communicate on the C-level to all the direction from the company. And in my case, what I did is do a meeting with all the directors from all the departments to let them know what is the framework now and how we want to work together. Because I noticed in this company, in previous company, when I was doing consulting, is that all the purchasing director was struggling on the question of how can I make them follow my policy, governance, because people are seeing purchasing department as a support department, but not as an added value department for the business. They see it as a really administrative, that we don't have value, and then it's a lose of time to go through the purchasing department. And sometimes they feel that they are losing power sometimes. So it's all about communication and let understand to the people how we will work together to make them part of the project. Because if they are not part of the project, for sure you will not be able to implement the project and the savings that you presented to the direction. So it's really key for each project to have a business owner, to clarify the methodology on how you will work with them, and for them to make sure that you will respect the job, and they are here to add a lot of value, because finally they are the experts on the domain that they manage. So it's key to work together to ensure that you are proposing a solution that fits with the needs, to make them part of the project, and share all the success of the project, because finally you cannot work alone, not anymore. And it's not only about negotiating one price and to be a cost killer, not anymore. It's not like this I think the purchasing department changed a lot this last year. It's still not so professional and not so recognized in some company. But the key is to work together, to have a clear guideline, to have a really strong sponsoring, and to always communicate internally, and to communicate all the success stories that you have. Because when I start, I was thinking, okay, how can I can work on this transformation? And it's the birth of the purchasing department in an organization when they spend a lot of years, 15 years, 20 years doing things on their own way, and not speaking with the other to know what they need. Because we were losing a lot of money just because people were not communicating together and they were not aware of what each shop were doing. So just to get all the information, to get people work together, and to have a clear visibility on a national level of what you have, you can gain a lot of money. And it's really key to make them feel that this is their project too. It's not purchasing project. I always say that we are speaking about company project. It's not mine. It's not. And if we have a really a big success, it's not only thanks to the purchasing department, because if I don't work with the people who know all the technical specification, how can we innovate, how can we optimize the process, I will not be able to deliver a good project. So I think this is key, and we have to spend a lot of communication, a lot of time in communication and influencing people, but always working together. I think this is key for the success of any project. So how can we keep our procurement strategy agile? It's a big challenge, I would say, especially in a big organization, because as you may know, you have so much department, everything needs to be validated by a lot of departments. And some contract we are spending months to get it signed. So then when you have to adapt to the market or any change in the organization, you have to find a way, and it's not so easy. I think it's much more there in a small company. But what we try to do, for example, regarding the market, when we are facing a supplier saying, telling us, I don't have any more this kind of product, we are not finding raw material to produce, or our warehouse are struggling in this part of the world. So you have to deal with some situations. So what we have is that we develop a really a big range of a supplier in Europe, and not only in Asia. For example, speaking about textile, or other products that are produced in Asia. So even if we have deal with local company, the production comes from China. So we are working a lot on our sourcing portfolio to look for a supplier that are closer from our shops. For example, can be in North Africa or East Europe country, to have, for example, better delivery time, to ensure that we have the product on time for our operation. And we ask our current supplier to find new way of supplying the product. Sometimes people, they are telling us that they're investing more and more in low-cost country from Europe to ensure the operation. And also we are working a lot about innovation. For example, when we are facing the wood issue with all the pallets, we were thinking, if we face this issue, and now it's okay because the market is better, but at a certain point, it was a risk to not operate. And if I cannot operate my warehouse, I will not be able to have any product in my shop. So it can have a huge impact in the company. So at this point, you are not even speaking about price, just speaking about having the product and ensure that a big volume will come to your warehouse or to the shop. So we are working on new kind of support, for example, for our logistic operation. So we ask constantly, especially with our critical categories, we challenge our actual supplier to work on new product with other materials, maybe produced in other country, to ensure that we will have the product and we will have it at the best price possible in the market. And regarding internally, but it depends a lot of the project. If it's a project related to logistic, or it will touch directly the shop. In this case, we work like we create a team project to ensure that we will not lose time. We have the right contact of the people, like people who will give us the information. We will decide and to act quite quickly. And we have the company invest a lot on having a training for all the director in order to be more agile. And I think it comes from also with everything that we face with the COVID, with the actual economical context, the political context, because now the organization, they have to be agile. Now it's not even a question, I think, because when you look at all the digital innovation that we are seeing in the market, if you are not agile, you are out of the market. So I think it's key. It's a really big challenge for us, but we are working on it, and the company is investing a lot of money to make all the director on the management team on board and be able to work on this way for the project that we have. How we incorporate ESG in purchasing strategy, and now it becomes more and more important, and it's key for us, especially now that we have an impact positive position in our steering committee, and we have clear objective on the ADO group regarding ESG. So on our side, every department of the organization need to have clear objective in how they will contribute to the objective of the group, and then in Spain locally. So on our side, each project that we launch, but it can be services or products, we always look at how can we do business in a better way. So meanings regarding people with some discapacity, how can we integrate them in the service that we have in the shop or in the headquarters or in the warehouse? What kind of services we can work on diversity to be inclusive? Because it's not only the internal personnel that you have or the employees that you have in your company, but how can you work closely with your supplier to work on this point of diversity? Then all the eco-friendly product, for example, speaking about a concrete example regarding office supply, all the paper that we have now, we have to have a solution of recycled paper regarding the plastics that we have in our warehouse. So now we really ask all the suppliers new option of products to work on all the product that we can recycled product that we can buy, and how we can work with supplier and ensure that the product then, when we use it, are coming back in the loop with the reverse logistic. So we try to look for a partner that work also, for example, in all the waste management, and supplier that work with this partner to ensure that the product that we use then would go to our supplier that are managing our waste, and then they sell this raw material to our supplier. So we try more and more to work on project like this because it's key for us. Regarding transportation too, regarding energy, we have 100% of green energy right now. It was a big objective for the company, and we reach it. We will work a lot on all the solar energy in our shop directly and in a PPA contract. So this is a critical point, and now we start working also with all the B2C business and B2B, the footprint carbon to measure it and see how we can do it better with our partner. But it's part of our tenders now. So it's part of our evaluation criteria, and we always try to work with our supplier on innovation and reverse logistic to ensure that we are doing business in the best way, because we just have one planet. So I think if the big organizations are not doing their work, the little one will not be able to do this. So we have to be a referent in the market. We had to lead this initiative and not waiting for new laws and legislation and to make this change. I think we have to be a step forward and innovate and be a referent, because if companies like Leroy Merlin are not showing the example, who will do it? I'm speaking about all the retailers, the big retailers, and all the fashion industry too. I think it's really key, looking at the impacts that we have. It's really key to change our way of doing business, and I think purchasing can bring a lot to the business, and it should be part of the strategic too. And we are working on positive impact to have a KPI to measure it, and not only take a decision regarding the savings, but this is a challenge. It's at which point ESG is more important than my savings that I can bring to my company, especially now with this context. So, but we have we are doing a new thing in our organization. We will launch soon, I hope, a platform to measure all our suppliers regarding ESG. To have a good view of how is my supplier portfolio, and if the supplier they will not reach the minimum that we will fix, we will have to work on them on an action plan, or we will have to find another option, because now it has to be part of a strategy and our way of working. On my side, as I have a strategical team, and I'm not managing the operational process, as it's completely decentralized. We have two main KPI. I would say it's the coverage that we have. Are we able to cover a huge percentage of all the categories per year? And then for sure the savings that we get at the end of the year. So I would say these are the two main KPI. But in order to have a better operation, in order to ensure compliance, and in order to ensure that we will get these savings, because we always present like theoretical savings when we finish a project, but the key thing is that how we can ensure that these savings are becoming a reality in the accounts. So we review a lot about how can I optimize my operation process. We know that it's a huge cost of money, taking in consideration some study that you can have in the market saying that the cost of one PO is like 80 or 70 euro, but if you go to digital, it can be 40% less. Is ensure to have everything going through my system and ensure that we are decreasing the operation, so optimizing our PO, then optimize our portfolio, supplier portfolio, to ensure that we have a consolidated spend with key supplier and strategical partners, because this will allow us to negotiate better the deals, instead of having 50 supplier, for example, for all the things related to merchandising, the image that we have in the shop. And we were facing this kind of issue when we launched the project. So the KPI regarding the portfolio, the supplier, and also two other indicators to also ensure that we get the savings. what is the percentage of the spend that is done with my preferred supplier. Clearly, the objective is to reach 80-90% with my preferred supplier, because we understand that for urgency, we can have to contact another supplier because the other one cannot make it, because we didn't plan this kind of purchase. And all the purchase done through our eProc catalog. Okay, or we develop also punch out, so it's really easy for our client, for our internal client. And if we ensure that a big part of our spend is managed through my catalog, I'm sure that pricing will be respected. They will work with my preferred supplier, and I will be compliant with my contract and the minimum amount of spend that I sign with my supplier. So on a compliance point of view, legal point of view, saving point of view, it's an indicator that is really important. Even if the operation is not on my end, but it's my responsibility to ensure that the deals that we negotiate are respected in the company. Yes, we had several really good project that we did here in Spain. One of the biggest one when I arrived the first year was everything related to waste management. So for us, it's key to recycle all the kind of materials that we can use in the shop. And we were facing a really big challenge of making the shop following the guideline that were set up by the Department of Positive Impact. So they were really struggling, because some shops, they were saying that they didn't have the equipment, they didn't have a place to put the equipment, they didn't have time, they were not organized. So and the price, it was such a big mess regarding the price, because there were not any transparency in the pricing. So they couldn't even forecast the price regarding the waste management spend. So we work closely with the department, and according to the rule that Laurent Merlin had, we did this project together really closely. The main challenge was to get the data, because imagine when you have to get the data from 135 shops and all the platform that we have in Spain, it's a really big challenge. Create a special format where they can all fill in this data to ensure that we could compare everything. And then we had really transparent pricing with a lot of options that shop then they could select. And when we launched this at the market, then we did like a regional lots for this project, and we had like we reached 18% of savings on this big project, but we are spending millions of euros. So it's a really good project. And then now all the shops are able to select the equipment according to their needs and the space they have. And everybody have a clear framework on how the process should be. And we have a fixed catalog with everything. So now they have the visibility. It's managed by the same supplier on a regional level, and this allows us then to enter in other projects with positive impact. I can say also something regarding supply chain. It was really managed by themselves. They have their own teams managing all the pricing, and we start doing a project with B2B transportation, and we were able to fix the same thing. Is that because the pricing was so different according to the supplier, then we fix the standard rules where they have to quote. We review all the conditions that the business needed for the transportation, because it was a bit risky with some supplier, and we put a standard contract that we implement on a national level to ensure that everybody is following the same standard. So then with this project, and we have really good results in terms of saving. I'm speaking about transportation. We had 4-5% of savings. We were spending like 20 millions of euro. And it's really challenging to get savings on this kind of category because we know that the margin are so low. But then the suppliers start to work a lot with us and ask for advice, ask for renegotiation, ask for new projects. So when it starts to come from the key user that contact us and not on the other way, I think you can say that you did a great job because you could change their mind and they see that by the results of the project and how it was done, that it's really a professional area that can really help the business. And with this result, we could go on more projects and they open the doors on new projects. And now it's more about us asking us some support for their negotiation or new initiative than us asking for, okay, what are your new project? Let me go in, let me help you. So I think at this point you can see that you made a change and you gain this kind of trust and credibility from the key user that now will open the doors and really start working with you. Because sometimes we are missing some really key negotiation just because they don't feel at ease to work with purchasing, or because they don't want to feel that they lose control, or we will judge the work if we find a lot of savings. But finally, others say it's for me it's company project than more than purchasing project. The key here was the communication. What the communication, because if you don't communicate well and the people don't understand why you're looking for information, for looking at the contract and asking a lot about what they did, because before it was totally decentralized. So when we start working with our internal clients, it can be seen as, okay, this is the police or an inspector, he will judge me, he will show some, then the result that it can make them uncomfortable. But the point is that the way that you enter in this category and new department and explain clearly the objective and clearly they have to feel that they are part of the project. And without their skills and knowledge, you will not be able to do anything. So it's really, I see it as a partnership, as a teamwork, but it's really key to have it clear, because a lot of people can see it sometime at even losing power in the company to not do any more the negotiation, and can be seen, you can be seen as a threat for them, because you can show really good results. So then their boss will say, okay, what did you do during this previous year? But this is not the point. And when we present when we do presentation regarding the result of the project, this is always what we say, that these people, they don't have the time to negotiate and do the analysis. It's a real job. That's why we have a purchasing expert. So, but thanks to the teamwork and joining technical expertise and commercial pricing expertise, we can have really amazing project. For example, giving a concrete example, working with our logistic platform, we had really high spend of plastics that we were using in platform. And we implement robots in the platform. So at the beginning, the platform, the people working there, they were seeing this as a threat, because they say they will quit my job. So I don't use the robots. But doing a lot of training, explaining the result and the objective of putting some robots in the platform, it changed a bit the mind. It took some months to get used to it, because they had to include this kind of robot in their daily work. And now it's the platform that asking us more robots, because they saw that it makes their day-to-day easier. They are not injured. They are less tired at the end of the day. We optimize the span of the film because it's automatic, and we have a clear setup of the machine to know the exact amount of plastic that need to be done on the pallets. So we gain in productivity, we gain in savings, we gain in safety first. That is really key for us. Safety first is it's really, really, really key for us. So when they saw this and they lived it, they took it as, okay, this is my new coworker, the robot, and now they really ask for it. And I think if now we would quit the robot, it will be a big mess in the organization. But it took some months to implement, but with training and communication and sponsoring, but we could implement it, and it was a big success. What we can do wrong in purchasing strategy, and I saw it a lot of time when I was working in consulting. First, it's setting your strategy, just looking at your point of view, and not even asking of, okay, what the business really needs, and what are the projects in progress or future project that could affect something that you want to launch right now. So not to be aligned with business needs, and not seeing what is going on for the future, because sometimes people they spend so many months to work on a project because they wanted to reduce 20% of the price and everything. They did the project, spend a lot of months, and at the end of the year, the board say, okay, but now as we change the system, we cannot do like this, or we will change the operation. We need to have this kind of product or of system in place. So then it was ruining all the work that was done. So I think this is really mistakes that I saw in a lot of company. Another mistake that can make a lot of months of project like for nothing, not include your internal clients. It's really key to work with them. It's really key to work with them because if not, you will face a lot of resistance. You will not have all the information to optimize the categories, and you can be sure that you will not be able to implement the savings that you present to your company. And then just looking at the price when you are negotiating with supplier and launching tender or redefining your strategy, because price is one thing, is one levels of many other that we know of. Okay, we have to buy it cheaper, better. We have to review the specification. Do we really need this kind of product? Can we not review the specification? How we buy the products, because we have a lot of operational cost, and we could consolidate the volume so we can have better price. And everything linked to innovation, because at some points when you already negotiate like each year or each 2 years a category, you know that if you did a good work, it should be optimized. But then you have to think what next. And now you have to find new way of doing things, and you have to think out of the box. So I think innovation is key, and you cannot only see what you have on your price. And sometimes some people in purchasing, they are looking at a price. But a really concrete example that I have regarding products for cleaning in the like cleaning products or the product that you have in the bathroom, in the shop, and everything. And the question was, but this product is more expensive than this one, so why you want to implement this one? I said, yeah, but with this kind of product, we reduce 20% of the volumes of the consumption that we have. So looking at the total cost, we will save like 15% regarding the price, the optimization, the kind of machine that we use for the product. So you don't have to look only on the product. You have to look on innovation, think out of the box, and look at the total cost of the new product or services that you want to launch. Regarding the future purchasing strategy, it's a complex topic, a really interesting topic. I would say that we'll face a lot of change regarding how technology and how the digital will help us in our daily life. Because for now we are missing a lot of data, and we see it on big international companies, small company, medium company. We are all facing a lack of data to take decisions. So I think the technology will take a really important role according to the maturity of the company. We use more or less technology in our daily life, but I think technology will be key to ensure our operation, to ensure that the cost optimization part, and to ensure visibility of all the purchase from the company. So I think the digital will take a really important part. A lot of things are creating every day, and each time I meet a supplier, there are new things to do. So I really like to see what we can do, and until which point we want to put the technology within our decision criteria. I would say, but I think it's key. Then innovation is key. As I said, in the future we'll miss some raw materials. We already have a lot of study, quite scaring study, that I would say. So we have to find a way of replacing this kind of product to procure our planet, because the raw materials, they are counted. It's not illimited. So we have to find a way of using our resources in a better way, and check how we can recycle this and to not affect our environment. So I think a lot of innovation regarding sustainable products. So the positive impact aspect will take a huge part in our decision. I think all the purchasing, the dimension of the purchasing that we have in Europe regarding Asia, America, Europe, I think it will change a lot, because we tend to have operations that are closer to our shops, to reduce the footprint, to reduce issue regarding deliveries, to reduce costs, and to ensure that we have everything for our operation. So think global, act local. I think it would change a bit. More and more we are looking at key partner locally. We use a lot of supplier in Spain. I would say that 90% of the suppliers that we have are from Spain, or even more. But the thing is that these suppliers are buying to Asia or in China, in Bangladesh, and this low-cost country, but they are looking for option in low-cost country in Europe, and this is what we are looking to. So, and speaking about to ensure that we have the product and to reduce the footprint that we have on the planet. For example, in the travel part, we push people to take the train and on the flight. We have also some rules on at the group to push people to act more, to be more responsible for all the travel management, for example. And so I think digital innovation and positive impact would be pillars in our strategy, and we will not be able to set up a strategy without taking this into consideration in the future.